Okay, so I've been asking you questions and we're having a great time and I have lots more questions, but there's a whole group of students who are sitting right behind me, and these are, by the way, Rita, these are the honor students who are theater and musical theater. Oh, she's going to move so she can see you all. That's good. So these are the theater and musical theater students who are honor students at Northwest School of the Arts, and we're going to begin here on the end, and she's going to tell us her name and what grade she's in and what she's emphasizing in, and she has a question. So go ahead.
Hi, my name is Meg Gallagher. I'm a junior.
Meg?
Meg
Okay.
Gallagher. I'm a junior at Northwest School of the Arts. And I want to know about your experiences doing voiceovers compared to being able to use your body acting on stage.
Voiceovers, you mean like for commercials? I don't know what you mean by voiceovers.
Yeah, like stuff where you would have like an animation.
You know something? It's very, very difficult to do what we used to call radio acting, where your face is, where you're not visible, where your voice is heard only. And it's difficult because you realize then, when you start doing that stuff, that you depend a lot on your face and your body language to get across what you're doing. And suddenly, when you know that nobody can see you, what happens very often to people who are new at this is that their voice gets kind of dull, and it doesn't have expression in it. And the truth is that you really have to find a motivation for doing what you're doing, for saying what you're saying. It's very hard for people. Suddenly, I remember doing a play with Alan Alda. We were doing The Owl and the Pussycat. And I was behind a door. Before you ever see this character, she's behind a door and yelling and carrying on because he's called the police on her. And it was really hard because the audience couldn't see me. I was behind the door on the set, and Alan was in front of the door where the audience could see him. And he was directing the play. And that's where I got into trouble because my voice didn't have enough energy. It didn't have, and mostly that's what happens. You lose a lot of energy, acting energy, when you're not visible. So it's something you have to be very aware of, and do it in front of a mirror where you're going to make all the faces. Now do it without the mirror and try to get the same kind of energy. Not so easy. Good question.
Mind.
Yeah.
Okay, next question.
Hi, I'm Kelsey Reinhard. I'm a junior and a musical theater major. My question, luckily, kind of ties in with what you guys were talking about. In both West Side Story and The King and I, you played supporting roles and did your singing for yourself. And then the lead actress didn't do her own singing. Was it hard to see those roles go to women who did not do that for herself? And also, then they dubbed you for one song when you obviously had the talent to do that for yourself.
I'll tell you, well, I'm glad you brought that up. In West Side Story, there's one song I don't sing for myself, and it's a very important song in the movie. It's A Boy Like That. And the reason I was unable to do it is because I had at the time, I was a lyric soprano. I was almost a coloratura. And there was no way, that's the very highest that you can sing, for those of you who don't know. And A Boy Like That starts really low. It has a huge, ridiculous range. And in fact, when Chita Rivera did it on stage, and you can hear her album, she got the low part right, and then when she got to the high part, very smart, Maria, very smart, she had to scream it out because she didn't have a high voice. Mine was so high that I couldn't reach those low notes. A boy like that, now for me I think, oh man, why couldn't I do it then? All you would hear was, oh boy like that. I couldn't reach the low notes, so I had to be dubbed. And to this day, as much as I love watching the movie, and I love watching the movie, it's very hard for me to look at that scene because she sang it all wrong, the girl who sang it for me. I mean, she did these cliche things, a boy like that will kill your brother. It hurts me so to see her. And I was there when she recorded it, and I was trying to tell her what I was feeling as Anita, which is a boy like that. That's how that should be sung. It shouldn't even be sung in a way, it should be spoken. And to this day, it's so hard for me. And yes, but you know what? In those days, again, nobody ever sang for themselves. They always got people who didn't sing to do singing roles. It was just taken for granted that you would get a dramatic actress, let's say Demi Moore, and just stick another voice in her. And that was what they did then. It was awful. Yes, I agree.
And annoying.
And oh, well, you know, if you were a performer, it just made you crazy.
Because you were doing
always
your
end up
own.
saying, I could do that better. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you weren't famous.
Hello, my name is Asia Roberts, and I'm a senior.
Asia, what a great name.
Thank you.
Wow.
And I'm a musical theater major, and my question is, how was it like having to juggle your family life or personal life with your career?
Oh, you mean much later on. It was difficult, but you know, it is difficult because I have a daughter whom is the light of my life. Her name is Fernanda Luisa. And actually, she and I danced together a lot before she got married and had children. But I have an amazing husband. See that fellow there?
There he is.
Who was one of the great daddies of all time. This is one man who really never hesitated to change stinky diapers. He really was. He had retired from medicine. He's a doctor, and when I was doing some of these jobs, Lenny would just be home with Fernanda, and it never occurred to him that that wasn't what he shouldn't be doing. So yes, it can be difficult sometimes because you want to be with your child, and you have some tough decisions to make. The thing is, don't have a child till you're really ready. I think that's the real answer to your question. Mm-hmm. Don't have a child till you are ready, and if you're never ready, don't have one. Well, you know, it's the kid who pays the terrible price of not having a parent. That's terrible.
And does it take in a role where you have one person who's an actress, performer, or a dancer, singer, to have someone standing behind you who is not? Do you think those are the better marriages?
Oh, I wouldn't marry someone that does what I do. I mean, one of me is enough in a family.
Lenny, you would agree?
Absolutely. I mean, you really, the mate of a performer always, like it or not, plays a kind of secondary role, at least in public life, obviously not in their private life. And that's not easy to do, particularly for men. And you have to be sure that the guy you're marrying is very strong on his own, that he is not at war with his maleness. It's very important.
Yes,
Yeah.
I would agree.
Yeah.
What would you consider your first big break?
Well, the first big break, obviously, in terms of world fame and all that kind of stuff, was West Side Story, because it gave me celebrity all around the world. And I got the Oscar and I got the Golden Globe for that. So.
And how old were you when that happened?
Oh, I was much older than I was playing a teenager when I was 27. All of us were really older in that movie. Yeah. I mean, I think there were a couple of real, honest-to-God, 19-year-olds in there, but none of us were really teenagers. And I was the old lady of the group. I and George Chakiris, who played Bernardo.